Hello everyone, welcome back to my really shitty channel. Now what you probably don't know about me, actually it's a fact that you don't know about me, is that I love movies. I am a movie fanatic. But my favorite genre is animated movies. I don't know why. I guess it's the way it makes my wiener feel. I don't know why, just animated movies, I just like them. And the other day I was thinking, wow, there's a lot of animated movies that I like. So then I thought, hey, why not do a top 20 favorite animated movies of all time? Why not? And since I haven't started my Metroid Other M review, I thought this would be something I would work on until I finish that. Now, a few things you should know. Number one, this is no way an official list. This is just my opinion. If your favorite movie is in this list, then my brother's playing GTA Online. If your favorite movie isn't on this list, then sorry. Also, this list is going to contain animated movies and anime-did movies. So, be prepared to see a lot of those on this list. So, let's quit stalling and get right to it. Here's my top 20 favorite animated movies of all time.
Some fun! Huh, Bambi?
Number 20, Bambi. Bambi is one of those movies where you watch it as a kid, get dramatized, and then never watch it again. Oh, and why did kids get dramatized watching Bambi? It's because of this. Anyways, the reason why Bambi is number 20 on this list is because, well, this movie will make you cry. I'm pretty sure everyone and their mother already knows that. If you get past Bambi's mom dying, you will see that this movie's actually pretty good. I mean, it's not the best movie I've ever seen. I mean, it is number 20 on this list. But the animation, the art style, the cute, adorable characters are just so fun to watch. And also, this movie is actually pretty dark. I mean, you got Bambi's mom dying and the forest fire and the fights. Like, holy shit, this movie's a lot darker than I remember. And that's some of the reasons why I love this movie. And that's about it. There's nothing really much I can say. I mean, it's Bambi. What else can I say more about it? Onward to number 19.
Winnie the Pooh, Winnie the Pooh.
Number 19, Winnie the Pooh. What can I say about Winnie the Pooh? I mean, everyone loves Winnie the Pooh. Oh, you may say that you hate Winnie the Pooh. You love Winnie the Pooh. I mean, how can you hate him? He's like the most likable bear in freaking history. This movie will make you smile. I mean, it doesn't matter how grumpy or how badass you think you are. This movie will make you smile, and you can't help it. These characters are just so freaking awesome. I mean, you got Pooh, Piglet, Roo, Miss Kanga, Tigger, that owl character that I can't remember his name, and that rabbit character that I can't remember his name, and you got Eeyore. And it's the characters that really make this movie. I mean, if this movie's characters weren't as memorable as they are today, then this movie would be forgettable. And it's not. In fact, it's one of the most memorable Disney movies ever. If you haven't seen this movie, I really recommend seeing it. Or just see the 2011 version. I mean, they're pretty much the same movie. So, yeah, go and see them.
I can show you the world, shining, shimmering, splendid.
Number 18, Aladdin. Oh, man, that song is just so damn catchy.
A whole new world, a new fantastic point of view. No one to tell us no, or where to go, or say we're only dreaming.
It doesn't matter how many times I listen to this song, I'm never gonna get tired of it. So, Aladdin, most of you've seen it, most of you like it. Why is it good? Is it because of the great animation? Is it because of the likable characters? Is it because of the great story? Is it because of the extremely catchy songs? Is it because of all the above? Yes. It's one of those movies where if it's on TV, I'm gonna watch it. Oddly enough, the biggest problem I have with this movie is Genie himself. I mean, yeah, I know he's the comedy relief and whatnot, but sometimes he seems like he's a bit distracting. Like he uses way too many funny voices and he talks a bit fast.
Rule number 1, I can't kill anybody.
Yeah, so don't ask.
Rule number 2, I can't make anybody fall in love with anybody else. You little punum there. Rule number 3,
I can't bring people back from the dead. It's not a pretty picture. I don't like doing it.
I don't know, it just seems a little distracting. But hey, it's just my opinion. He is still funny and fun to watch, so there is that. Everything else in this movie is pretty good. I mean, some people think that the modern day references are a little out of place since this is in Arabian times, but I don't really care, to be honest. The movie's really fun to watch, just like all the other movies I have on this list. And it's worth watching, if you haven't seen it already. Number 17, Treasure Planet. Why don't more people know about this movie? This movie is so freaking awesome. Now, if you didn't know, Treasure Planet is based off the book Treasure Island. Bet you didn't know that. One of the reasons why I love this movie so much is because of how freaking good it looks. I mean, look at this, like, it's like steampunkish and shit. This movie is so creative, I love it. Just do yourself a favor and go see this movie. Seriously, it's on Netflix, just go and see it. Oh, and the main character is played by Joseph Gordon-Levitt. Yeah, your mind is officially blown.
Meet Norman.
Number 16, Paranorman. Yeah, I know, stop motion technically isn't animation, but I don't give a shit. This movie's good. Like, damn good. This is another one of those movies where a lot of people haven't seen it, which is a damn shame because, again, this movie's really good. The story is about a kid named Norman who gets picked on a lot at school, and it turns out he can see ghosts. And it also turns out in a specific date, a witch is gonna raise the dead from the grave, and Norman needs to save the day. Now, there's two reasons why I love this movie so much. Number one, the animation is amazingly good. Most of what's on screen is stop motion. Only like 10% of it is CGI. That's incredible. This movie has amazing animation. And the other reason why I love this movie so much is this movie takes a lot of risks that most animated movies nowadays don't seem to take. Like, seriously, if you look at a lot of animated movies nowadays, most of them play it safe. They never really take any risks. They're never dark. They're always happy and colorful and shit. I mean, I got nothing wrong with that, but back in the day, animated movies took a lot more risks compared to movies nowadays. And that's why I love this movie so much. Like, for example, at the end of this movie, there's a gay joke. It's not offensive or anything, it's not making fun of gays, it's just a legit funny gay joke. You never see anything like that nowadays. I love it that this movie takes risks. And it's unfortunate that most people haven't seen this movie, which sucks, because people should be seeing this movie. So if you like dark animated movies that takes a lot of risks, then you will like this movie.
Listen, I try to be nice. You're mimicking me.
Mimicking me.
Okay. That is rude, and this conversation is over.
Number 15, Wreck-It Ralph. Yeah, I'm sure a lot of you guys saw this coming. When I first saw the trailer to this movie, I was extremely excited for this movie. Just seeing Bowser, Zangief, Eggman, Pac-Man guy all in one room in that trailer made me freaking jizz my pants. And when I saw the movie, it was actually different from what I expected. In a good way. The trailer made it look like he was going to jump to different video games, which what a lot of people thought was going to be like, but it turns out that it was actually very different than what we thought it was going to be, if that makes any sense. Few reasons why I love this movie. Number one, Ralph. He's an awesome character. The voice actor that plays him does a really good job. Number two, Vanellope. She's freaking adorable, and she's awesome. And number three, this movie actually made me cry twice. It's not often movies can do that to me. And it really surprised me. It turned out to be a really good movie. A few people were disappointed by the fact that Ralph didn't jump to different video games. You know what? If the movie did go that route, I don't think it would have been as good, because then it would have focused more on the games Ralph jumped to instead of the actual characters and story. And most of us can agree that the characters and story are really good. But I can only think of 14 other movies that are better than Wreck-It Ralph. So let's go to 14.
afternoon. Are you in need of any assistance today, sir?
No.
Number 14, Up. Finally, a Pixar movie makes the list. And most of you will know Up is a really damn good Pixar movie. Some people say that it's the best. Now, why is Up such a damn good movie? Well, everything. I mean, the characters, the animation, the freaking story, the first 10 minutes will make you cry like a baby. Seriously, the first 4 minutes of this movie could be like a short film and it'd still win Oscars. This movie is also extremely funny too. This is the funniest Pixar movie in my opinion. This movie will make you laugh, cry, it'll make you feel a whole lot of emotions. You know a movie is good when it can make you feel multiple emotions at once. Well, not at once, but just, you know what I'm talking about. But out of all that, Up is not my favorite animated movie. In fact, I can only think of 13 that are better. So, speaking of 13, let's get to that right now. Let's go to 14. Number 13, The Lion King. Ah, come on, do I really need to explain why this movie is good? I mean, we've all seen it. We all know the songs, we all know the characters, we all know the story, we all know how good it is. Well, some of the songs I don't really like all that much. I mean, they're not terrible, but the only song I can really listen to over and over again is The Circle of Life. All the other ones, I can only listen to it once and I'd be done with it. But that's just my opinion. If by any chance you haven't seen this movie already, go and see it. I mean, if you haven't seen it, what kind of human being are you?
Oh, finally. Ugh. Hey, who's got my hat?
Look, I'm Woody. Howdy, howdy, howdy.
Give me that.
Number 12, Toy Story. That's right, we're going for the first Pixar movie ever, and you know what? This is a great movie. This is the movie that changed animated movies forever. Ever since this movie came out, every other animated movie wanted to be like Toy Story. Every movie wanted to be colorful like Toy Story. Every movie wanted to tell a story like Toy Story. Toy Story is freaking revolutionary. This movie has great animation for the time, great writing, memorable characters. It's creative, it's original-ish. It's like the best animated movie ever. But in my opinion, it's the 12th best animated movie ever.
Dory. What are you doing? What are you doing?
Number 11, Finding Nemo. Finding Nemo is, honest to God, my favorite Pixar movie. I just love the direction Pixar goes with this. First off, the characters, again, are awesome. You got Marlin, Nemo, Dory, all the other characters in the fish tank and shit. But the biggest reason why I love this movie so much is that it takes place in the ocean. This movie perfectly displays how scary, how beautiful, and how mysterious the ocean is. And by the time when this movie ends, you just want to see more of the ocean. Finding Nemo is my favorite Pixar movie, and I cannot wait until the sequel comes out. It's coming out in 2015, and oh, what the fuck?
It's so beautiful. It's hard to believe these spores could kill me.
Number 10, Nausicaa of the Valley of the Wind. I'm gonna take a wild guess and say that most of you guys haven't heard of this movie. But this movie isn't completely obscure. In fact, a lot of people know what this movie is. But if you don't, the movie is about, in a post-apocalyptic world, war has pretty much destroyed the world, and war somehow created a jungle of giant mutated insects, and also making the air uninhabitable for humans. And the humans that are still alive are making war again, so the main character, Nakasa, I hope that's how you pronounce it, needs to do whatever she can to bring peace to the humans and the insects. This movie was directed by Hayao Miyazaki, but some people call him the king of anime, because this guy has made really damn good movies in his lifetime. This movie delves into a lot of topics such as feminism, capitalism, politics, environmentalism. There's also a lot of flying in this movie, which is almost in every Miyazaki film. One thing that I really like about this movie is that no one is really the villain in this movie. I mean, yeah, there is an antagonist in this movie. You can't really call her a villain per se. The reason why the antagonist is doing all these bad stuff is because she thinks what she's doing is right, and that makes a way more realistic villain. Oh, and the soundtrack is amazing. This movie is just so freaking good. Even though some people think the manga is better, well, I haven't read it, so I don't know if it is or not. But we're just getting started. Let's get to number 9. Number 9, Tangled. When I first saw the trailer for this movie, I actually didn't really think much of it. In fact, I thought this movie was actually going to be really forgettable. But then I saw the movie and this actually turned out to be a really good movie. In fact, I think Tangled is the best Disney movie to come out in recent years. Yes, even better than Wreck-It Ralph. And the reason why I think that is because this movie actually feels like a Disney movie. This movie came out at a time where Pixar was pretty much ruling the animated movie scene, and when Disney would release their own movie, it would either be Chicken Little or Meet the Robinsons. So for Disney to release a new movie that actually feels and looks like a Disney movie, it freaking blew my mind. And this movie has really good animation. Usually I don't say that for CG animated movies because every CG animated movie looks the same to me. But the animation in this movie is really good, even compared to most Pixar movies. And I think we can all agree that the horse is the best character in the entire movie. All in all, this movie is extremely good, and if you haven't seen it yet, I'd recommend seeing it.
Dancing bears, painted wings, things I almost remember.
Number 8, Anastasia. Yet another underrated film that's directed by Don Bluth. Some people don't like this movie because it's based on a true story and it has magic and wizards and shit in it, which is completely understandable, but as a movie on its own, it's really good. I mean, the animation, the art style, the songs. I can't really remember most of the characters except for Anastasia, Rasputin, and the bat, but everything else in this movie is really good, and I do recommend seeing this movie if you haven't already, which I'm gonna say that you haven't. So go and see this movie. Now. Right now. Oh, this video's not continuing until you see the movie. See the movie yet? No? Oh, no, whatever. Number 7.
I'm see-through! Was that a dream?
Number 7, Spirited Away. What's this? Another Miyazaki film? Who would have guessed? Let me tell you, this movie is one of Miyazaki's best. This movie is creative, original, has amazing animation, has memorable characters. It's just so damn good. The story is about a family moves into this town, and this little girl's parents eat food that isn't theirs, and then they get turned to pigs, and then she gets transported into the spirit world, and she forgets her name, and she needs to save her parents and get out of the spirit world. Huh. You know what? When you put it like that, this is a pretty weird movie. But it's a good weird movie. Like I said before, this movie is extremely creative. Everything in this movie is original. And on the surface, this does look like a weird movie. But when you actually watch it, you'll have a lot of fun. It's like I keep saying, it's a good movie. So, once again, if you haven't seen this movie, I highly, highly recommend watching this movie. In the meantime, I'm just gonna wait for the Blu-ray to come out. Seriously, when is Spirited Away coming out on Blu-ray? I'm still waiting for it. Number 6, Castle in the Sky. If I were to describe this movie, I would describe it as an Indiana Jones type movie. And by that I mean that this movie reminds me of an Indiana Jones movie because it's very adventurous. You have the two main characters that have a stone that can guide them to a place called Laputa Castle in the Sky, which is pretty much a floating island. So the two main characters try to find it, but then pirates try to find it first, and then the government gets involved. This movie is building up getting to Laputa, and once the movie does, that's where the movie gets good. The biggest reason why I love this movie so much is the characters. The two main characters, Shita and Patsu, for some reason they seem very realistic to me. They talk realistically, they act realistically. It's like if a real floating island existed, these two people would actually act, they would act in real life. If that makes any sense. And also the pirates. I freaking love these guys. These guys are freaking hilarious. Every time they're on screen, prepare to laugh because these guys are funny. Oh, and once again, this movie has an amazing soundtrack. I will never ever get tired of this soundtrack. Castle in the Sky is a really, really damn good movie, and if you haven't seen it, which I'm gonna guess you haven't, I would recommend go seeing it because it's so damn good.
And they called him Littlefoot.
Number 5, The Land Before Time. Do I even need to say anything about this movie? I mean, it's The Land Before Time. Everyone knows about it. It's the movie about Littlefoot getting separated from his family, so he and his friends need to find the Great Valley. Everyone knows about the story, and everyone loves it. This was Don Bluth's second film he ever made, and it is one of his best. And once again, this movie's soundtrack is really good. Gosh, I can't even, man. This movie, man, this, oh no, not gonna make me cry. No, I can't even. No, go to number 4. Number 4, Princess Mononoke. Once again, this movie was directed by Hayao Miyazaki, and this is said to be one of his best movies. Without spoiling anything, the story is about, in a fantasy world, there's a forest that has all kinds of gods in it. There's boar gods, wolf gods, ape gods, and the mother of all gods, the spirit of the forest. And they pretty much protect the forest, while at the same time, humans want to burn down the forest because they think they're evil and all that jazz. And because they want to mine more iron to make weapons and more cities and whatnot. Of course, the animation is really damn good, and I don't know if this is a kid's movie or not, because there's a few scenes in this movie where arms get ripped off and heads getting decapitated. So if you're okay with your kids seeing that type of stuff, then Princess Mononoke is the movie for you. And again, if you haven't seen this movie, go and see it. This is an extremely good movie. It's well worth it. And I'm still waiting for the Blu-ray to come out, just like Spirited Away. Whatever. Number 3, Howl's Moving Castle. Another Miyazaki film, yeah, whatever, I don't care what you think. Howl's Moving Castle is, honest to God, my favorite Miyazaki film. The movie is about a girl named Sophie who gets cursed by this witch, and she gets turned into an old woman. So to relieve this curse, she needs to find Howl and his moving castle. And that's all I'm gonna say about this movie. This movie is a joyride. It has magic, witches, wizards, a moving castle, Christian Bale as Howl, Billy Crystal as a fire demon. I mean, what more could you want? So if you got the time, definitely check this movie out.
Brisby. Mrs. Jonathan Brisby.
Number 2, The Secret of Nimh. The Secret of Nimh is Don Bluth's first movie, and a lot of his fans, including myself, agree that this is his best movie. The story is about Miss Brigsby needs to move her family because a farmer is about to plow his yard where she lives. But she can't because one of her kids has pneumonia and can't be moved. So she has to figure out how to move her entire house. This movie perfectly balances science and nature. It shows us that science is the one that made the rats really smart, but rats became so smart that they became smarter than humans themselves, and they started to make magic and shit. Unfortunately, this is another underrated movie and not that many people saw it, which I'm going to stop right here and say that if you haven't seen this movie, which most likely you haven't, go see it. This movie is amazing. It's a great movie for kids. It's a great movie for adults. It's amazing. And my number one favorite animated movie of all time is Wolf Children. Now, I'm gonna sit here talking to the mic and say that most of you have probably never ever heard of this movie. And there's pretty good reason why. First of all, this movie never came out in America, so of course some people aren't gonna know about this movie. But take my word for it, this is one of the best movies I've seen in years. In fact, not only is it my favorite animated movie of all time, it's my favorite movie of all time. The story is about Anna falls in love with a guy named Okami. I hope I pronounced that right. They seem to like each other a lot, but it turns out Okami is a werewolf, but not the traditional horror movie kind. He can just turn into a wolf. So of course they fall in love and she gets pregnant with Ami and Yuki, who can also turn to wolves. And the movie pretty much just follows Hannah and her taking care of her kids. Hannah is a mother that will do absolutely anything to take care of her kids. Ami and Yuki are possibly the most cutest things ever. And it also shows how they struggle with friends in school because, well, they can turn to wolves. There's obviously going to be some drama. This movie is damn near perfect, and once again, if you haven't seen this movie, please do yourself a favor and go see it, because this movie is one of the best.
So, there you have it. That's my top 20 favorite animated movies of all time. I hope you enjoyed it, because if you didn't, sucks to be you. So, that's all for me. I'm gonna go and make my Metroid Other M review. That's about it. See you guys later. Bye.